Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. It's just Meg here, and I'm back with another bump date. So as you saw with the last one, that was my 20-week bump date, and I think I'm gonna do this every 2 weeks. So just stop what you're doing right now and go ahead and click that subscribe button down below if you're not subscribed already. Hit the bell notification button, it's right next to it, and that gives you instant updates because we also plan on upping our schedule to 2 times a week, and we want you guys to be along on this crazy journey with us. So as you can tell by the title, I am currently almost 23 weeks pregnant. So I just wanted to go ahead and give you an update on all things new in the pregnancy, at least things that have changed and maybe what has stayed the same. I would say not that much has changed from the last one. I will say that any morning sickness that I did feel has almost completely subsided, thank goodness. I mean, who wouldn't be happy for that? But I do every once in a while still feel sick to my stomach, because I do notice that in pregnancy your stomach is a lot more sensitive to certain foods. So things that I used to be able to eat before, I can no longer eat, and I'm having to keep a food journal to write down when I feel sick, and so that I can identify what foods might be irritating my stomach. I think these past 2 weeks I've only thrown up once, which might be a little TMI, but it wasn't that bad. I'm feeling a lot better. In fact, a lot of the times I forget that I'm pregnant until I look down at my baby bump, or I feel her moving or something like that. And also I can finally say on this video, I can say she, I can say her, because you guys saw from our last video, and if you didn't see, you should definitely go check that out right now. We did a gender reveal and it was so epic, so adorable. We had pink fireworks, and my reaction was so surprised, because I thought for sure that it was gonna be a boy. I had dreamt a boy, and they say you feel what you're having, but that's not always true. I was definitely surprised, but I'm definitely getting into it now. I'm just so grateful that I'm gonna have a little girl. I was closer to 21 weeks when I had my sonography scan, which is a little bit more in depth than the first sonography appointment that I had at 10 weeks, which is just to look at, you know, kind of the basics of things, make sure the yolk sac, and you guys probably saw that in the previous video, the baby just looks like a little peanut at 10 weeks. But when we went back, it was amazing. I mean, you can see everything. You can see the spinal cord developing, and her like head, and her little nose, and her profile, and her feet, and it just, you know, you count the toes and everything like that, and it's just an amazing experience to see how your baby just transforms and grows, and you're like, I'm creating a human, this is awesome, I am Wonder Woman. And it's also humbling too, because you're like, wow, this has so little to do with me. This is something that has already been put into place by God, and he's just developing this little life inside of me, and she has her own set of DNA, her own, you know, genetics going on, and she's basically her own person. And I'm just blessed to be able to facilitate this soul into the world, and I'm gonna do my best at it. Wow, that just got really deep really quick, but I mean, that's the kind of things that I think about. As you can see by the title, I'm not just gonna be talking about rainbows and butterflies, because to be honest, many of you guys know, and many of you guys have read, that pregnancy is not always rainbows and butterflies and happy feelings and all that. I think before I got pregnant, even though I knew that pregnancy would have symptoms, and I knew about the nausea, and you hear about it, but all you see at the end of it is this precious gift and this precious life, and you're like, I can't wait to do that. But you don't realistically know what it's like until you actually go through it firsthand, and then you're like, wow, okay, this isn't the fantasy that had played out like a movie in my head. My biggest symptom that I've been kind of thinking about this week or these few weeks have been how to handle stress or mild depression or some form of depression during pregnancy. I wouldn't say that I'm a depressed person, but I definitely, you know, just like everybody else, I have my days where I am really struggling and really sad, even prior to getting pregnant. And I think once I got pregnant, I put sort of a pressure on myself to be as perfect as I could be for the baby. If you have too much cortisol, you know, it's bad for the baby, and am I hurting the baby by crying too much? Or, you know, you have all of those questions in your head and you're afraid that you are somehow already disappointing your baby or already being a bad mom, and we're really hard on ourselves. So that's a symptom that to be honest, that I've been dealing with. I still work, just like many moms do. I still go to work just the same amount of hours as I worked before. I do YouTube as well. So, you know, there's regular stressors of life. You feel also a hint of guilt every single time because you're pregnant and you're like, I can't, you know, I don't want to do this while I'm pregnant. And you're afraid to reach out sometimes and afraid to express how you're feeling because everybody feels, you know, every time they talk to you, they're like, hey, how's the baby? Which is great and so right and so fine, but at the same time you're afraid because you're like, hey, you know, actually I'm really stressed today, or I'm really unhappy today, and you're afraid that they're gonna be like kind of judge you a little bit. It is always important to deal with your mental health when being pregnant or not being pregnant. Some days you're gonna cry and cry and cry and cry and cry, and some days you're gonna be on cloud 9 and so happy. It's not all up to you. A lot of it is hormones. If you're having a bad day, it's okay. Don't make it worse with all the guilt. Just say, how can I get better? I have so many reasons to be happy. Number one being this little baby inside of me. So I'm just gonna try to turn this around as quickly as possible. And don't be afraid to reach out because I'm here for you. I'm sure there's so many people that are there for you. Take a few minutes, yes, to cry and to let it out and to be human, but then get up and go make something that you love to eat, or go take a walk by the beach, or go see your favorite movie. I just love when I read articles of women who are like, man, you know, it was supposed to be the happiest time of my life, but a lot of times I was really sad. That's like a hug for me because I'm like, yay, I'm not the only one. That was a really long symptom, but I just wanted to put that out there to let you guys know that you're not alone. It will get better, and don't be hard on yourselves. Okay, so then the third thing I wanted to talk about, or maybe complain about, is that you're gonna get a lot of advice when people start seeing your bump, or even before that. You have these lovely family members that are so great, but people just have so many things to say. I promise you, you will drive yourself absolutely insane if you are to be like walking on eggshells. So this is my first pregnancy, in case you guys don't know. I've never been pregnant before, so I'm the most vulnerable to advice right now, which I think is good. I am also scared. I'm very terrified and I think that that's okay to admit as well, because people are coming at you when they see you drinking a Coke every once in a while. They're like, oh no, it has asp, you know, whatever, and oh, you dyed your roots, that's really bad for the baby, and you shouldn't eat peanuts, and don't massage your feet too much. Just, you know, some of these things may have truth to it, so don't attack me in the comments, but there's just a lot of different viewpoints coming in, a lot of different things that people hear, and when you pile them all together, you start to get a gray cloud over your head. Take a breather. Know that you're not gonna self-combust if you have peanut butter. Do your research. If people give you advice that is untrue, or that you don't relate to or you don't need, just say thank you and walk away and not really take it to heart, because if you did, you'd probably be a crazy person. Also, if you have one of those things that you're just weirded out by and you're like, nope, I'm not doing that, that is your choice. That is your decision. If there's a certain vaccine or something that you prefer not to take, or a certain medication that you don't feel comfortable with, don't ever feel guilty about saying no and putting your foot down and saying, this is just not something that I'm personally comfortable with, even though such and such says it's fine, it's fine. Do what feels right to you. Wow, I feel like this is turning into a little bit of a rant video. I am so sorry about that, guys, but this is just stuff that has been piling up, and honestly this feels so good to finally release this on camera. Like, I feel like I'm talking to like all of you guys right now, and I'm finally getting to be like blah. So besides that, I feel some movement. I can feel her sometimes putting her back towards my belly and doing these little cartwheels, and she's kind of like moving one limb and the other limb at the same time. I experience a little bit of acid reflux sometimes. I'm starting to notice a little tiny stretch mark coming up on my I think it's my left boob. And you know, I looked at it and I was like, okay, I think that's a stretch mark, but it's all right. I already have some anyways, so I'm okay with it. I'm trying to take my skincare a lot more seriously. I try to use things that are a little bit more organic. That's my choice. I also use bio oil and coconut oil on my skin in the morning and in the night. I'm breaking out a tiny bit on my back. It's not even bad. I'm not even worried about that. So basically this pregnancy is going, these few weeks, they've been great. I'm really feeling the second trimester. I've got my energy back and I'm feeling a lot better than the previous week. So if you guys are in the beginning stages, know that I promise, it does get better. You do feel so much better. I'm gonna do some maternity shopping. Maybe I can do a maternity haul. Comment down below if you guys want to see that. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you my bump so you guys can see how she is growing. So I'm wearing black today. Hopefully you guys can see it. I just ate. I'll maybe show you guys a little bit here. I got my little line here on the other side. There she is. She's so cute. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love talking to you guys. I love getting your advice. You guys were so sweet in the last bump date. So I just hope that continues. Like this video, give it a thumbs up, and comment down below. And we're actually thinking about having Josh as a guest feature in one of these bump dates. He apparently wants to tell you what he's going through as a husband. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. God bless.